Yesterday I started my video talking about the CEO um, of one of the big three defending her 40% raise, making $30 million a year. She said 92% of that is the way the company's performance based, how good the company's doing. That and then I don't have a problem with people working hard and getting ahead. I just think that the system's becoming completely lopsided when you have these people who aren't producing anything. I get it, they have stress. I'm not saying that these CEOs, these people that make tons of money, don't have stress. But they don't really put in the work. You know, you look at these athletes nowadays, these basketball players that are making like $50 million a year, like a Kawhi Leonard or something like that. And they want to do, was it shared load, where they don't have to play every single game of the year. I remember when I was growing up, it sounds so weird, like I'm a boomer, but these players would play all 82 games. Michael Jordan, Kobe, they'd play all 82 games. These players nowadays want to, I want to do load management or whatever. You're making like $50 million a year. And I understand why they make so much, because the fans pay for it. They pay to see that player. And I'd be kind of pissed where I bought a ticket to see one of those stars not play. Like, this is kind of messed up. Kobe, I got a lot of respect for Kobe. And I seen a quote. He said, like, when he was growing up, you know, I forgot what he said when he was growing up. But anyway, he wanted to make sure that, like, he played every game he could, because he wanted to make sure that all the fans that worked their butt off, something along those lines, be able to come see him play, not just pay for a ticket and him not being out there. But my point is, like, these rich people are just becoming so entitled where they don't even want to do work anymore because they have so much money. And I think that when you get to a point like a Warren Buffett, and you have so much money that I'm not saying like these people who invest don't put in work when it comes to research, but they also have people helping them out too. But they don't put in, like, there's no relatability when it comes to the day-to-day functions of being a human being, of taking care of yourself. The vast majority of us on this planet, we have to do our own shopping. We have to wash our own dishes. We have to wash our own clothes. We have to take care of our own kids. We don't have nannies. We got to wipe our own asses. But these fluffy rich people are so, like, they don't have to do any of these regular human chores, which I'm cool getting to the point where robots do it all, but they don't really have to do. They're not into reality anymore. When most of us are into reality, yeah, and that's why I think that you see these celebrities that are all like woke and stuff, and they're so far-fetched from reality because they don't live the same life as we do. And it makes me wonder if they're even, like, if they even are human, if they even have souls. Um, I I listen to this one YouTuber, and she's pretty good. I think she's like into she's dabbled into like witchcraft and stuff like that. But like she's about like spiritual stuff, you know what I mean? I'm not saying like she's into like the bad. Like there's good witches and bad witches, you know what I mean? And witches has like a stigma towards it. But she was saying that there's NPCs. Like there is people that they're just background people. And Dolores Cannon said the same thing. I think Dolores Cannon did a lot of hypnotizing on people, and a lot of information came out. A lot of spiritual things and what happens to the other side. Like I think let's take Andrew Tate for example. Like Andrew Tate makes videos putting people who are poor down, putting people who are, he calls us brokies, who are average people, basically making us feel worthless. A lot of these YouTubers do the same thing. Like they put average regular people down who are just trying to survive. How did Andrew Tate get so big? How did he get so rich? I'm sure that boxing helped out. Kickboxing did a little bit. It probably didn't pay him that much, even though he was a multiple world champion. I'm sure it didn't make him his 30 million, however much he's worth, triple digit million. I'm sure it paid him okay. You know, I might have paid him the same as a WNBA player or something like that. But he got rich off of cam girls. And from what I'm hearing is like he didn't pay him nothing, and he kind of like used his influence of being like a lover boy, like their boyfriend, to coax him into putting themselves on the internet for everyone to see, and just profiting off of that, manipulating them. And for, you know, he it's kind of like the OnlyFans. Like I think that when he started out, him or his brother, they probably were texting dudes erotic things, posing as these women. I mean, they had so many. Like the women probably didn't handle all the text. I'm sure that they did some of the texting, but I'm guessing Andrew did some of the texting too, sending erotic tweets to men, posing as women. I got no proof of this, but you know, I'm sure they, after they got to a certain point where they got made a lot of money, they just hire somebody to do it for them. But the manipulation of people like that, a lot of people that are rich, how do you become rich? How do a lot of the people become rich? Off of other people's horrible circumstances. Let's say that there's a natural disaster, and it happened into a different country, you know what I mean? Not into America, but like a third world country, and like people need water, and there's no, like they're in desperate need of water and food, and I'm providing it, but I'm like making them sign, not giving it to them on the kindness of my heart because they're in desperate need, but like I'm either making them pay an exorbitant amount for this stuff, or make them like acquire debt for it. So manipulating a horrible situation, taking advantage of that situation, I think that there is some type of karma. And I think a lot of these people who are really rich, I think that they acquire a lot of bad karma to be at that level. I mean, honestly, like, if you're sitting here with all these resources, like, it's one thing to be a little, to be well off. I'm not hating on people. I'm not a communist, dude. I think that if you work hard, you should be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But there comes to a point where it's like, dude, like, I'm gonna buy my 10th fucking Lamborghini. Like, I'm gonna buy my 3rd yacht. I'm gonna buy my 15th mansion. And then you got so many people homeless in this world. So many people starving and needing medical attention. It's just how could you live with yourself, even if you're not going to give people like directly homes? Like, why do you need such huge, like, why are you not investing, especially these communist parasites, these celebrities who don't contribute anything to society? It's like, why aren't you donating your money? These people act like they're so morally high. How are you coming from a place of being like morally superior to everyone when you're like rich as hell? Like, the classic thing is these fucking preachers, man. These Christian preachers like Joel Osteen, who's got a huge mansion, and he's worth like $50 million, and he's like defending being rich. It's like, I thought that you're supposed to serve God and get your reward when you go to heaven. I don't respect them. Pat Robertson, that guy passed away, I think, but man, he was worth like over triple digits millions of dollars. There's this one pastor who's worth $700 million. And it's just, he's got Lear jets, and I forgot his name. He's like evil looking, but I think that the problem with these people that are really elite rich is they're not doing anything to help anybody. They might donate to some charities, like, give as much as like giving like $1 to us would be like to charity. Like, it's nothing to them, and they probably like write it off or something anyway. So it's like they're just karma parasites, man. And I think that that's why they're so afraid of passing away, because they understand that their next life, whatever that may be, I don't know if it's going to be, if we go on to hell, there's a heaven, just like the Christians, or there's like a seven layers of hell, or we get reincarnated. I think I like the idea of reincarnation, but a lot of these people, they're not going to come onto a better life, so they want to try to grasp onto their current life as much as possible. Because at the end of the day, it's just about control, man. Controlling people, oppressing people, not helping people, not trying to lift people out of poverty. And that's what their goals should be. But for business, it's all about making profits and taking as much as you can. As a person in the working class who made it through the 2008 recession, and is going through whatever the hell we're going through right now economically, I feel like so much burden has been put on me. I've had to sacrifice and sacrifice just to survive. Granted, I pretty much only worked my 40 hours. I didn't work too much overtime, like, throughout that time. So I didn't get too far ahead. Because, you know, obviously I was raising a family, so I had other priorities. I had a second job. That was raising my kids that's why I was working. It's so hard, you know what I mean? But there comes a point where, like, okay, Cabby did a video yesterday about the benefits of, like, being poor, and the struggle. What that does is develop character, instead of, like, being one of these rich people like Hunter Biden that's just, like, born into riches. They don't understand the struggle, so they end up turning to drugs. It's kind of like somebody who wins the lotto and then all of a sudden they turn into a drug addict and all that. They just, like, have no purpose. Imagine being born into, like, a really wealthy family, and it's like, what's your purpose? You know, you're not trying to build for anything. You're not trying to escape. You don't have much struggle in your life. And a lot of these elite rich people, like, you know, there's a lot of rich people who haven't forgot where they came from. So I'm not bashing, like, all the rich people, but there is some elite rich people. It's just like they're just they don't have to put in any type of work, man, to survive. So they don't relate to anybody. And they're almost like different beings, dude. That's why they're almost not human no more. It's like my kid. Okay. My kids. Yeah. When you're raising kids and you know, like, this whole mindset, I'm gonna give better than I had for my kid, than when I had when I was a kid, like these boomers have. I think that stems from, like, their parents when they were growing up in the Depression, when they literally had nothing. They had nothing. They were lucky to eat that day during the Depression. Some people. Giving your kids material things and, like, the best of everything, and exorbitant amount of resources, I think is, like, a detriment to your kid, raising kids. I think there's some, like, good thing is when they struggle. Like, my kids obviously didn't have the best. They had everything that they needed to survive, but there's a lot of lessons that they've learned about not having everything handed to them. And at this point, if they want to succeed in life, they have to build everything from the bottom up, because nobody's going to save them. So if they so they'll appreciate what they build, because they built it themselves. And setting your kid up, instead of just giving them resources, it's like giving them morals and values is more important, for the future. Not just handing, like, here's $100,000, go do what you want with it, or whatever, you know what I mean? there's this like mindset, like I want to, I don't want my kids to ever have to struggle financially. Not like, I think like there's some character building things in that, man. There really is. Because if everything, it's like, what type of life is that if you're just not doing anything for yourself? You literally are born into this world and you don't have to struggle or do anything that the common man has to do. I think that's what a lot of these elites are at. A lot of these people who are in charge of the world, who are like the New World Order, I think a lot of these people are born into extreme wealth, and they don't relate to us at all. So that's why they look at us as like expendable, and they hate us because they really hate themselves, and they want to get rid of us. Because they're so out of touch with reality. And reality is, what is reality? Okay, reality is, it's bad. Reality is bad. It's harsh. You go out into the animal kingdom, and you will see animals rip each other apart to survive. And whoever the most dominant one, or gets the best, has the best tactic, or gets lucky too, will survive. And the other one will will eat good and continue to survive. That's the harsh reality of life. The sharks, they don't care. They just want to eat. That's like their program, just to eat. They don't care about like trying to get up on anybody. They just see like there's food, there's something swimming, I'm going to go eat it. That's all that's all they're programmed. It's a harsh reality. That's reality, and these people have never experienced that reality. So they're completely disconnected from humans, and that's why they seem out of touch, and they don't seem human. But there is a lot of benefits to lifting yourself up out of poverty, and the satisfaction of it. Doing things on your own, accomplishing things on your own, instead of just paying somebody to do it. I'm far more accomplished raising my kids and them being good kids. That's my greatest accomplishment. That's my greatest success. I raised two good human beings. I didn't pay somebody to do it. And even a lot of these people who pay for their kids to be raised by somebody else, these rich people, it doesn't mean that their kids are well off spiritually or mentally or emotionally. I am not jealous of these rich people. I'm not. I just look at them as fake people, phony people who act like they care, and I know that they don't. I don't care about having a mansion. I don't care about having, I know it sounds weird me saying that, like, oh, I don't care about that because I don't have it. It's like, dude, I literally, that would be cool. It'd be cool to drive a Lamborghini or something. But that gets old, man. It gets old. Like, if your whole life is materialism, you're not learning anything. Your soul or your spirit isn't learning anything, and that's what we're here for, man. It's like your whole life, you're just cruising through life. It was pretty much pointless. It was pointless. You haven't learned anything, and you're just gonna be coming back down here. Like, and a lot of these rich people, that's what they're scared of, man. They don't want to come back because they know the hard times are coming. I think they got like newer type of souls, if they have souls at all. Like me, I think I'm on the last stages of my development. I might have to come back here for maybe another life or two, but like, I might not have to come back at all, depending on what I do with the rest of my life. And I've done bad things, and I think forgiving myself, apologizing to the universe, forgiveness is huge, man. I know that sounds weird, but there's more than there. There's good and negative energy, and you know, these atheists that think that like when you die that's it, then go to a haunted house and tell me what that is. Go experience that and tell me what that is. There's more going on than we know, and there's a lot of things that the Bible has right, but that there's a lot of things that I think has been manipulated. I think that they've left some out and added some things in, and it's a way to live our lives in a productive, positive manner, but it's also a way to control us. So yeah, I'm extremely open-minded, and yeah, like these rich people who have life on easy, I think that they don't want the next life, and that's why they're trying to, like, I'm trying to extend my life for the mere fact that I hope I don't ever have to come back. I don't ever want to come back. I just want to be done with this place, man. If I come back, I don't want to come back in a physical form. I don't like it. I think it's boring, and she was saying that too. Like when everything seems kind of boring and everything, I have never really been too excited. Sometimes I get excited about things, not too much anymore, but back in the day, it's just, I think I have an old soul.